Hey, good evening, MOCA friends. My name is Ally Yanxiu. I'm the director of programs and chief of staff at the Museum of Chinese. So it is my pleasure to welcome you all tonight. Very special celebration of the foundation of him magazine. So in exchange. So I'm going to start with some housekeeping items. And first, we will yes, webinars. I want to show the moving short performance and panel discussion and after discussion will translate into a next large part, so which will be built after the panel discussion will be great to just enjoy some refreshments. We have more beer and wine, and then also feel free to explore the exhibitions as you can see in the gallery and then gallery. Also, if you do enjoy tonight's program, we hope you'll be able to support us here, and do accept donations on our website, also in panel, PayPal, credit card, cash, and of course, I think most we're selling lunch, and especially the foreign lunch, there's a lunch table outside, and then you can talk to one of the foreign staff as they're being collecting funds afterwards. But then there's a few items, the past magazines, photo board magazines, and other for you guys. But also we also have books and some other stuff. So selling the first issue of York, so which is also pictured right here for $20. So then if you want a original copy, this is the first issue to support our friends Jackie. So feel to help. So without further ado, I will hand it over to our director and director of the exhibition of TANI.
Thank you, Don. Yeah, this is a really exciting night for me. Performance art, very downtown New York, 1980s, 1990s for the exhibition, and then panel discussion, and we have music, and the foreign community, which you all are part of. I just want to talk a little bit about why we're all here within this space. There's an exhibition we just opened called Magazine Fever, which connects Asian American periodicals and explores magazine publishing by Asian Americans in this period of multiculturalism, Gen X, and just this formation of a very different way of understanding ourselves and a certain kind of identity. And how magazine and writing and photography and fashion, graphic design, art had all to do with the formation of this identity. And we wanted to make it like an intergenerational conversation too, so not just stuck on the past, although it pains me to talk about the 90s as the past, because to me I still live in the 90s, musically, and culturally. And anyway, we wanted to bring in new voices and new directions in magazine making, because this is a form that's actually still very much alive and foreign is showing that. So in the other space across the hall is an exhibition of these three new directions of magazine making: foreign, Hotan magazine, and Day magazine. So without any further delay, I bring on Wenyo Chai, founder of Special, and creator, along with Danny and Kelly of Foreign magazine. So welcome, Wenyo.
Thank you, Ivan. Thanks for including us in this exhibition. It's really incredible to have a magazine that we started this year. We started planning last year. The first issue launched this year, and our second issue today is the second issue to be included in this exhibition. Magazines in America. I appreciate this. Tonight, we welcome. So tonight we're having the second Foreign Exchange, which is a series that we want to have because Foreign Magazine is a magazine platform for artists who are applying for O1 artist visas in the U.S. as a rubric for qualifying for the magazine is you have to be considered an extraordinary talent. You have to have a lot of publications. You have to have your work presented in all kinds of reputable institutions. So tonight we check all boxes by having the artists featured in a magazine published, checked. And then artists being able to talk in a reputable institution, and then the magazine being featured in a museum. So these are all like in the we're coming together to highlight to and that we even have an audience, all of you here, whether you are part of the O1 application journey, or you know somebody, or you're learning about it. This is really incredible to have a space to talk about it openly, so everybody can share the struggles, and particularly in a politically turbulent time as we live in now, not just in the US and also around the world, but this is a really important discussion to be having. And so for N as a project that we started special is to talk to the creatives to come together and for all kinds of topics, but most importantly, we want to discuss these issues in a playful. So I hope that you can see some aspect of that. Trying to make it fun environment to talk about a very challenging issue. Tonight, we will start with a performance by Shirley Van, and then we will have a panel discussion led by MOCA's Dennis Yueh-Yeh Li. And then we will have a final, interactive techno performance resolution by CJ Disparity, who's for the foreign issue to community. And also thank you to advertisers who have supported us in foreign. When we are also, I would also like to say that the opening submissions for open call for issue 3 and 4 together. So it's currently live on our website. You can check online on foreignmag.com, and we also have available ad spaces at affordable prices. So if you have a hobby that you would like to highlight, or you have a business, a booming business, we accept all kinds of ads because that really adds to the collage of this magazine. And also, and we are going to start a foreign ambassadorship program as well. So we would love to talk to you about it. Please find me or Kelly or Ken if you have ideas about that. And so let me introduce Shirley's performance, and I think it's beautifully performing already. Okay. Shirley Van is a multimedia artist and filmmaker born and raised in Wuhan, China. Her work, which is in issue 2 right now, explores identity, expression, and uses storytelling to examine the overlap of personal identity, tech, societal change. So her performance is called Can You See My Face?
Let's just follow the paths, right? What panelists today? First one. We will also have we also have Supatida Sutiratana. Yeah. So we'll have time. So before we start, I guess tonight we're talking about the pizza. Just want to quickly introduce myself. I'm originally from Taiwan. I'm like Taiwan. I'm about 5 visas until I got green card. This year I'm naturalized as an American citizen. Also from the actual so before we dive into the topic, I would like one of us to just do a quick introduction. So if you don't mind sharing your name, your pronouns, and your nationality, what year did you come to the United States, and also the first moment that you identify yourself as a professional artist.
Firstly, my name is Ally. My Chinese name is Luo. So my pronouns are she, her. And I came here 2016, which makes this year the 57th year, which is almost as long as how long I spent in the cities in China. Professional, I don't know if I can still call myself professional. Someone who's my friend, and I think in active that's more so maybe Jean. I'm just Jean. Yeah.
Practice should make sure.
I went to technology and make a lot of, let's say, kinetic installations that was connected to water, technology, and then also technology.
My name is Terumi Saito. I'm originally from Argentina, and I came to the West in 2016 to see my independent self university, my career in sheet service.
The first time you identify yourself.
Yeah, I feel a lot there. Yeah, I started practicing for students, pursuing my
Hey everyone, my name is Supatida Sutiratana, and you can call me Matt. I'm from Thailand, and I moved here. I think it's been 3 years right now. I just graduated from SBA Visual Arts and Design as well. And right now, currently, I have a studio with my friends. It's called Midnight Projects, and we always doing like city stuff, graphic design, and we specialize in branding, and we do a lot of exhibition design right now. Hi everyone.
I use she, her pronouns. I'm an artist working with.
It's like working in federal. Related sort of pediatric China. It was during the pandemic. And my identification for the professional artist, I don't know if it's that I'm still suffering with, but I feel like I've used to introduce myself in the practice. It was the point that you cannot be
Hi everyone, my name is Tom and I'm from China. I graduated from the School of the Art Institute of Chicago in here in New York. So I mainly do photography and humor is it's a major part in my work and when that's I identify myself as an artist since I'm a graduate undergrad. So yeah, I always want to be I know I want to be a professional artist, but I think we all now have so many different identities, so I think that's hard.
Awesome. Before we dive into the pizza, I want to circle back to this question. I just got an inspiration from reading the second issue of the magazine. You're all featured with your works. One of our is observation of the way that all the photographs in Times Square. With all those people who are wearing mascots, troubling you, taking pictures and making money out of it. How you put it in was, it's essentially the epitome of the American dream. Because you observe that many people without the mascot, a lot of them are actually also immigrants themselves. So I want to ask you, what is your definition of the American dream?
That's a broad question, but I think there isn't a very concrete idea about American dream. But I think it starts with saying everyone has equal opportunities no matter where you're from, and we all have this mobility in society. Yeah, but I don't think it's different for everyone. And I think,
What's yours?
I think my American dream is to just be an artist and make work, and that speaks to myself and my community.
Thank you.
I don't know if it's more appropriate to call it the New York dream sometimes. Figure out how it informs the difference. I think for me, it's really simple. I want to be able to because I know what I make is not what to do. And then also just be able to travel around trying to freedom to not stay in the same stuff.
I think it's made to about diverse and like opportunities. I think it's like everyone's dream to have like an opportunities, and this is like a big thing. So I would say it's like everyone's dream, yeah, especially me. I think like for me, I can create my own stuff and like small stuff, and everyone just like, appreciate it. And that's something.
Like go over creating, who's Amy Webb instead of could be things bridge between life and culture and other nationalities, especially actually very grand in Japan, but I kind of because I moved here, I actually found this art getting there. It's called fiber art, which I really didn't know about. We learned how in Japan, then I think especially because the environment in US allowed me to actually make the decision to transition my kind of studies actually change my personality too, but or maybe it was difficult to learning this till during college. I think after you graduate, the hard to
I guess for me is to get peace with connect contradictions that seem to not necessarily resolve. That's in relationship to how I identify myself. I guess I could or just to various obstacles that now have given me the rest of the freedom of at times. Yeah, I guess like just very continue that I wanted to achieve being in America is probably to figure out a way to be at peace with all of these different aspects. This my God, I guess that's
It's quite different, you know, we're a history museum here. We talk so much about the visa, the immigration, and you can see a huge change from the 60s onwards, and now we're in 2024, and we start to see a lot more input on us trying to, you know, fulfill your dream. The definition of American dream definitely expanding and a new definition. So I guess coming to the honest visa, before we do that, I wonder if we know what an honest visa is. If you don't know, please don't be shy and raise your hand. Okay. So I would like to invite you to help us understand a little bit about honest visa, what actually it is. Anyone want to know?
the official name, I believe, is the O1 visa for aliens of extraordinary ability, and I still not with it.
Yeah, if I can allow me to give a quick spiel about this honest visa. Okay. Here we are all presenting applicants for the honors O1B, the extraordinary talents and extraordinary arts and achievement, great extraordinary achievement in motion picture TV. There's O1A, that's particularly for athletes, researchers, and business people. There are O2, one assistant to the O1 items. O3 is how much you do it. And you know, in order to get a visa, you have to meet a lot of criteria to a few things, like you can essentially get that. So for O1B, you have to be the person that has received or been nominated for a significant national or international award or prize. It can be a award, Grammy, or the American Guild Award, or at least 3 of the following forms of credit, which you know there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of them essentially wants you to prove or provide evidence that we're above the right of third party, such as publishers, such as jury committees, or one of the members, prestigious organizations or associations, such as SDC, that is the Korean Film Director Association, for instance. So you have to really prove that you're extraordinary in order to get this. My personal experience is I'm on team 1, and we have a diva that is equivalent to Madonna or Beyonce through May. She got the O1 visa at the time when she was there interviewing. I was in front of her saying, "You got the same visa?" You're thinking you have to prove yourself as an extraordinary with someone that's like, you know, equivalent to Madonna. How do we do that? So, question to you: where are you at your process?
I'm still currently in school, so but I think one visa is definitely thinking about applying to graduation.
I am halfway through my first one.
I'm just starting the process.
Yeah, obtained my first one in 2021, and actually a week ago I just got up with a 3-month.
Also in the preparation process for the first patient.
So, some of us, are in process, some of us have already got it. Can you tell us what exactly were you preparing? Are you? What kind of materials not to that?
Actually, it's funny because some movies it's fun and he this show without knowing what's going on, and he's like, "Oh, it's their name." I'm like, "Yeah," and it's part of the process. I think for me, I realized I just make full words. That's really the funny part of it, and also just a lot of applications for different shows and plus I think also gathering initial analysis to one process because sometimes the professors will reply to you at the time of learning.
The first, I can talk about first applications that we so I graduated from the physics program in that first, but was actually at first over, so I didn't have any year who went through one from this program. So it was a little bit tricky to navigate my application because I didn't have any reference or examples. But actually, my lawyer at Greenwood community was great that it really helped me tailoring my portfolio, which is like 300 pages. So how much you need to put in like professional work. I felt like I need to also make more work, but we should be looking for conventional work. So I was glad that I didn't like be labored or volunteers during the apprenticeship program because we will help you to be exceptional. And when you say you did all the like work and you got paid, then so that was really so outline the portfolio and then yeah. We also heard the recognition letters and job offers and other events together. So yeah, first issue was a little bit tricky.
Thank you.
For me, right now, I'm gathering all of the stuff, like, have been working for, like, from, like, when I started, moving here, and I, have worked with my parents, so that's a good, like, popular for me as an artist, because usually, like, when I work back in Thailand, it's just only, like, the branding design from the company, so I cannot put, this kind of things to be more popular. This can be just really like, okay, notable design from the previous work. So that's why right now I gather all the stuff I work here as the like exhibition designer and like some brands that I have with my clients and also like some like personal exhibition that I have with my team, like with my partner. So right now I gather all the stuff and like put myself into like press or like this magazine to have like more like evidence and to like get more like recognition from people. And also right now I'm still in the process to like ask for like recommendation or letter. So I think it's kind of like easy, not easy, but like my friends, my coworker and my supervisor like willing to help and they knew the struggle of like visa. So it's like pressure for me, like really get into like ON visa. It's really like stressful process, but I have like friends who's like been through the same thing. So it's like pretty hard process, but it's worth it.
So for me, my undergrad, I went to a liberal arts college and I did not specifically study art and was not preparing to be an artist until I would say like junior year. But I would say like since maybe sophomore year of college, I like started working internships for museums, galleries, art studios, and then the work that I've done for these places and like the different artists are also like somewhat creative in nature. I produce websites or video content, and then those things are typically included in my like separate work resume. That's just like exists alongside my typical artist CV, but for the purpose of O1, I included all of those materials in my package as well as just like exhibitions that I showed my work, or press that I published, press articles that has my name on there. Yeah, and then the thing with the O1 petition is that you have to petition under a certain title, but mine was multimedia artist, which is not typically how I would introduce myself, but everything that you include in your application package has to respond to this, like, in a way. So, you know, my lawyer basically suggested a broad enough term to fit in, say, as much work that done as possible.
I'm still in this very early process of preparing, like gathering evidence. So yeah, mostly exhibitions and press.
There's a lot to unpack here, like a lot of things you mentioned, some keywords like lawyers, portfolio, icons. I want to start by lawyer. We all know that if you're applying for something, you're always looking for a lawyer that's represent you. So some artists actually represent themselves and they're position. So can you tell us a little bit about your experience navigating the role of lawyers? How do you decide which one to go with?
Well, like initially I didn't solve any lawyers, and I think I only talked to 3 of them, and then I did that in 2022, and then the price they had at the time were like pretty similar, maybe like plus minus $1,000, but not like of like great difference. And then I like the decision that I made was pretty much whether I like the person enough. If it was really an instinct, just I guess most of my lives, because like you sort of have to have quite a lot of trust in your lawyer throughout the process, and then so just listen to your.
I agree. I listen to my instinct as well. But yeah, I talked with like 3 different lawyers, and I feel like I think there's always like pros and cons, and like trust your instinct. But I think it's just the only thing. So I cannot say if it's a good way or not. But because like I choose lawyer friends, she like worked with him for a long time, and also like lawyer's friend, and and have worked with him for a very long time as well. So I feel like okay, maybe it's not like a big difference with like the price, and also like maybe I can trust him.
From my experience, I think I can talk. So I had a little bit, I think, maybe different the previous people. So I didn't have any example or friends who took over through text area. And I had a friend who took one as a C other area of profession. So what I did was, I sent a lot of, maybe 5 people my resume. I finished email and I absolutely qualified because first I wasn't sure like I qualified for even applying for a role. But then actually 2 people responded, and one person said actually I think you can get it in person. And then another person said like I think you can get it. And then the lawyer be very confident, even though I was from the niche like industry already as a textile designer. So yeah, I think part of reaching out to several people is actually free before paying consultation. So I recommend if you're like looking for like a lawyer, and also just email a lot of people time to your resume.
I think it's pretty much similar for me. Instincts, feelings, vibes, and also my resume. But I also rely on a lot of friends and ask them to recommend me theirs. And then independent of you, like lawyers are also they specialize in areas and genres. This person does fashion, so probably brown. This person does more design, so probably programming. So I feel like it's really a good job.
Did Joe ever experience being rejected by the lawyers saying that the case is not strong enough? So you did a consultation with a lawyer. Tasks like you mentioned about the title. How do you find yourself as honest? And honest is such a broad term. Like, what do you mean by honest? Right? And so how do you narrow down your title?
I don't feel like I'm there yet, but I already don't know what I am.
Initially, I actually didn't have a title when I was preparing, but like right before I filed it and yes, they decided, and then I have a unique title of Excel artist slash designer. When I
Did the lawyer say anything about the title?
yes, they decided. So I got her.
I didn't, like, I mean, I'm not there yet, so I didn't have the time for yet, so we'll see.
Did you already have a conversation with your lawyer about it?
How's that? See around much.
I remember I had to have the conversation with my lawyer pretty early on because like one of the concerns that I had is that whether my professional work portfolio can be included in the package. And then they suggested the multimedia artist title, which works pretty well for the purpose of just like basically it creates more cohesive narrative in the materials that I submitted. I've also heard that there are many artists that use multidisciplinary artists, so pretty much like works that are not like that strictly visual art or fine art can find their way into your materials.
And what other, tips or concepts or discussions that your lawyer had with you in terms of your own petition? Do they just take money and run?
Well, maybe one too, I can be shared is I finished my pay in 2020, so it was very hard to find a job right after I graduated because of the COVID. So I had some like random part-time sort of thing, and then I think didn't have a full-time job. And then when I reached out to the lawyer, she actually told me to find a full-time job so that because you need to prove how much you're earning in the United States. So I actually had my first consultation and then had to look for a full-time job. So since then, it was 2 months it took. So after And after 2 months, I finally got a full-time job. But I kind of started preparing documents that could be prepared. That applies for some people.
So this time job is always very interesting because when I got it, first time in 2013, we didn't have to prove our income. When I got a green card, this was the first time that all the audits needed to be interviewed in order to get the green card. And that was a policy change in 2016 when we had administration change. And that's what just required others to really prove your income and prove that you do not take advantage of the United States government. You should not be on the social benefit. They might use that as a reason to be against your case. You have that shift. So the next thing I want to ask about is, artist visa is essentially a self-admission. You don't work for a corporation or a company. And in the subgenre, the subcategory is itinerary, which means you are a freelancer. You have to provide an itinerary the next 3 years, next 2 years, what are you going to work on? Or you find an agent that represents you. Can I learn a little bit about your process and your visa? Under what category are you on and how do you work on those materials? Such as finding a picture, for instance, or that itinerary.
It's so very blurry, but for me, it's more about finding the itinerary, which kind of become a more existential crisis at this point. Because my friend asked me, "What's your through line?" Talk to your guys, and they're like, "What's your consistency in the things you do?" And then I said, "I can't really think of any at the moment. I do see something there, but I think for the next month or so, until the end of this year, my past, like, not to procrastinate on thinking about that for myself. Because I graduated from also liberal arts college, and it's everything. I've learned everything, but not really quite good at anything. And then I've done a lot of film, cinema stuff. I write film reviews, and it's kind of not in the same category as installations. So I think a lot of times thinking about how they combine together into one thread going forward.
My experience. So after I got the current job, I've been working at the Japanese gallery called the Gallery in New York City, and then so I had that job, but I also had to prepare the job there. So in total, I prepared 3 job offers there for my application, and the first software one expectation, and then so it was easy to make itinerary with the gallery work because they had the whole schedule, but I also had to look for 2 other jobs. Then it also comes back to like volunteer with the labor part. Like I had some people who can make a job offer better. Then so I want to for me job. So the 2 other jobs was kind of tentative, but I made it a 3 years experience that freelance job over there, which is like art fair or the conventions, some occasional seasonal job. So that made my 3 years experience.
And then for me, it's like worry as well. Because right now I have like studio, so I would say like we always have like work together. So it's gonna be like my studio is gonna be like a big part for itinerary for like the whole next 3 years. And also like I have been working with like art center, so they can like be my job offer, and also I have like my friend who work as the like printer, so they can like provide me like extra help, and I believe, like when I talked with my lawyer, they said like, well, it's fine with like no job like offer and like do on studio, we can provide you as like the big picture. So I feel like confidence.
So for my itinerary, I had a few vacancies lined up, but they were mostly like for the 3 years. And then when I prepared my petition, I was still living in China and did not have a job in US. But there are a few artists who I had like on and off work relationships for like 4 or 5-ish years. So I basically just talked to them and asked for an offer, which I think it's easier than say actually like applying for jobs at galleries or art spaces, because like these employers are also individual people, so it would be it would actually like make the process of like I guess like landing a potential job easier. And then I was 29, and then I like actually got my current day job after I got my P1. So that's the difference to me.
Okay. So I want to ask the next question. What are the logistic challenges? You know, we just heard there's a resume, position, itinerary, portfolio, and other evidences. What are exactly the challenges? Are we've done?
I think the biggest challenge is actually like psychological in a way, because it essentially asks you to look at the past 5-10 years of your life and your quote unquote achievement. And then because like the entire petition is done in a specific legal language that just sounds exaggerating to the normal ear in a way. So there's always this like imposter syndrome feeling that's going on when I have to just like pretty much spend hours googling my name and then just like say every page that has my name. So yeah, that's actually like one of the more challenging part, because you always have this feeling that okay, this is a visa for the extraordinary, and I really that. And another, I guess, like more practical challenge, I would say, is the recommendation letter part. My lawyer, I believe, suggested 5 to 8, and I aimed for like the higher number. And then, but it wasn't once again. It's also like this like mental obstacle that exposed to yourself, that like being worried, like whoever you reach out to, it just like suggestion is just that send those emails to potential recommenders as early as possible, so you just don't have to worry about it. You either say yes or they say no.
It's like a huge challenge for me to like, even though I have like my friends and like my support system that like willing to help, but it's like part of me is like, oh, I need to talk to people, like I don't want like rejection from them. And I think that's the huge part. And also like I think the challenges is like, I think for like to see myself like working like gather all of the stuff and like to like put myself on like the press. And I think that's the huge part. Like it's really hard to like put yourself into like interview or like website, or you cannot just gather all of the stuff like just only like 2 months or 1 week. So you need to waiting for them to answer and like waiting for the process, waiting for like for them to launch. So I think it's like the huge challenge for me, and like there's no guarantee that we can get into the press. So I think that's good.
also for the nothing forward that reaching out to people is actually sometimes intimidating, and I remember I wasn't succeeding, but for people who are writing a letter and then it's job orders, but actually you'll be surprised how much people are actually willing to help you, and then a lot of people who went through online as well. So that's one of the things. And I think another thing is putting the portfolio together is definitely that consuming part. And I think once you do your first application, the second one, I don't know, you do the first one is really challenging. I recommend maybe like if some of you do like different photos of the project or workshop or anything involved. But if you have a photo and then you yourself is in your photo, I think that's strong. You didn't put it there into the portfolio.
I haven't been through the whole cyclist, so I probably can't say much, but like everyone's been saying, not procrastinate on some people to vouch for you. I think it's really hard. And also, I also heard lawyers were saying that you don't need to touch your portfolio with parenting for you, and then some of my friends didn't see that until they got through the rejection. But to work on it, like it's really to see on the page. So that's good.
I totally agree with you. I don't think it not happen to me. I made a lot of mistakes on my petition. If I didn't proofread myself, it would have been a huge mistake. It's question. But I think a lot of I have to told how to apply for this. But I want us to be throughout since you are something about applying for it. Hearing all the challenges and then details in the procedure. How do you come with what you have heard and how does how does the conversation help you in your sleep and you want to decide pursuing or not pursuing?
I think it's I think it's very helpful to hear about the experience from the process, and for me, I know it's not. So for me, I think the difficulty is to you feel the same thoughts that you have to frame yourself in some way to prove to somebody, probably they're from Middle East, and to kind of prove your talent. And I think the box can be always evolving. And yeah, it's a kind of important to be proactive and don't worry rejections.
And for the rest of us, my question is, applying for this can be very, very lonely, can be very stressful. I still remember those days. I bought a printer myself, and I printed all those 500 pages in my bedroom with my degrees, and you ask a stranger to die yourself when you're right now. So, my question to you is, find support, and how do you cope with your anxiety or whatever that comes, along the way applying for this visa?
I think thankfully I graduated from an MFA program, so most of my friends are moving through the process and have went through the process. So it's just a big group chat, friends talking about it. And then sometimes some of my friends are really split about it, they don't even worry about it. I don't know how they do it, but that's a lot of energy that comes through. I don't care, I just submit it. Yeah.
I think I also remember preparing this huge amount of document and also in your second language too. So it's like extra stressful. But then the help from the native speakers they're really healthy to figure out the tailor the information and the documents, especially like when you prepare for like recommendation letter. In my case, the lawyer had a professional writer that had to make a whole profile for them who like ghostwrite the letter. Yeah, like seeking help for others about having do not hesitate to do that.
Yeah, so the same thing, like, I think my classmates, like, half of them is from Asian country. And I think just only like 3 of them is like American. So everyone had like the same like problems. And, but I think that like a huge support is from like my own mother. Because she had like been through the process like this like last year and early this year. So it's like very supportive advice. And I don't want to make my mom's cry because she's here, but she's my good support as well. Don't have, but yeah, that's why I like pursue myself and like to see myself in this country and like this is like the best
I actually have my petition for secret to most of my artist friends. I like typically went for like not art friends for like this type of, I guess, like emotional friend. Yeah, friends, family, or definitely your best support. And I think like one thing that I will also add is that at least my lawyer, who was very professional, but was also acting like a robot that has no emotion. They will not provide you with any emotional support. I think on a professional level, they're not supposed to tell you, "Oh, you got this." So they're not disclosing anything regarding like whether or not you will be approved. So yeah, which I guess it can be interpreted as a sign of their level of professionalism, but at the same time you have to just like seek out other people for that emotional support.
I guess my last question before I open the floor, I believe you have some questions to our panelists today, is I want to circle back. It's not American dream. We are pursuing American dream one way or the other. How do you navigate your family relationship? Does your family support you? Does your family worry about you? Your family relationship does not inform your decision in terms of whether you want to pursue this visa or not.
Yeah, I think my family is still in Japan, and but they give me a lot of freedom to explore and to just let me decide where I should be. And I think it's a great support from them. But yeah, I would try. I would apply for one visa, but that's a temporary stay for me. I think I'm still gonna figure it out.
I think pretty similar. I think the biggest support my family has given me is really the freedom that allows me to do doing now, because art is not, I think like for Asian families, it's not always best career path. That like in a lot of
I think for me, she's gonna cry. And yeah. I think it's so different because like my dad will like willing me to go back to Thailand because I think it's not like a bad things to go back and like I think right now in Thailand we have like great like success on like design stuff, but I feel like here there's like more opportunities and I think from this side I think my mom is the one who's like keep pushing me and like very supportive and even though like it's you know it's worry for her like what am I doing right now since I was young, but I think she always like accept my decision and always be the one who support whatever I want.
That's really, really sweet.
My family also all lives in Japan, and I'm also from family. The one is in art and design. So I think in terms of that, actually they're maybe supportive always. Like, but I definitely it's very hard to communicate with Eastern at the time in Japan, but very opposite. But they also say that there's definitely more opportunities in US in terms of like artist residency, like fellowship, doing that. And just like that was like the emotion struggle that I really can imagine myself going back to Japan, but at the same time, I have my dream and goals that I would like to pursue in my life. So yeah, but I hope I can pay back doing stuff here and then surviving in the country. It's like make things better.
My parents are retiring this year. Then my dad started reading books about what to do after retirement. I think he's also going through a big thinking process about what you can do with your life and what kind of choices you have. And I think he just realized he had to be doing it. And then he realized that I can also do it. So at some point where I can see this where homework can be. And then I think he also realized that he has a couple decades ahead for me too. And then he still think that I might be going back to China one day in 10 years. For him, that's something he's holding on to. Also, I'm assuming like all Asian parents, they ask me, oh, so art and what else? What else can I do? Yeah, I'm on teaching. Is that good? And I received, yeah, it is. Then he would shut up and would ask because he got his head started. So I think it's a tough.
I actually want to ask Supatida's mom, if that's okay. Because here we all know Jim community part of this autistic community. A lot of times help you navigate your family relationship, right? Yeah, you said to realize that you actually get to live.
He's turning 61.
61, yeah, it took him 61 years to realize that. So we all know it's actually very challenging, and even working with a lot of artists, they always express the same thing. So, even in art as actors, they actually have a full-time job. One of the working fathers, she said, so she actually has a clinic, and then she on the side she just acts. So I want to ask if the mom speaks. How do you decide to support your kid in this art? Do you experience any challenges in terms of like finding that decision?
I always support her since she's very young. She's I get used to do it. Yeah, it's my obligation, responsibility, supporting everything. Because I let her have her own idea, whatever she would like to study. I just okay, just bring her to the school and for say because Thailand actually like my sisters love drawing, just drawing. That's it, painting. It's everything is the same. So like we need to go to like extra classes, like after school. Yeah, well I have to volunteers.
And both of them choose their own way of study and just support her. Okay, and the driver, just go. Yeah. Whatever she wants, and she checked it in her career, of everything, and she can yeah, she achieve your goal, your whatever. This is mine. It's mine. But I think it's yeah.
Were you ever worried?
Worry. Even she's grow up, she got master's degree, and I still worry about her. I can talk like every morning, and evening, yeah, here, yeah, every day. Yeah, very happy.
It's very nice. It's very nice. Thank you for being so supportive.
Yeah, I would support her the rest of my life. Okay?
To explain that. So we really have time to take a few questions if you are, yes.
Yeah, thanks for the panel. One question I had was through this process, what is one thing you've learned about yourself, about your practice, or maybe it's something you realize that, oh man, lawyers suck, or something like that you might have learned from this entire process.
So things that I have learned, maybe to networking is very important here. When I was in Thailand, it's like it really is like very small, it's like money, so everyone knows each other. But in here, it's like the more you have, the more like someone can help you out. And I think a lot of people willing to help. Like I'm so surprised. Like okay, like my supervisor always like texted me like, "Are you okay? Like, do you need any help?" So I was like, I'm so surprised that like connection could help. Like it's changed a lot and like change, like not just only like visa, but also like the way I'm thinking about city.
Yeah, I guess I totally agree. The perfect is just like how nice people are. In a way. So basically, like when I reach out for recommendation diaries, everybody said yes, and then they included like former professors and former employers, but I haven't really been in active contact yet. Which I guess like also just reminded me to just actually check in on them from it's like it's not really I guess like in the relationship that's developed through these processes is not only able to share a relationship which is like similar to I guess like just how the art world functions in general. Like your coworkers are often your friends at the same time. Just echoing everyone, networking is really important. Message people is really important.
Yeah. It really depends on how many people you have. It's honest.
Sometimes I feel like it's nepotism, but it's some similarities to it for sure. It's like that just reminded me, there was a relatively new documentary on Andrew Tate, and then there was this scene where he was at one point desperately needed an American visa. He wrote a telegram to John Kay, literally just begging, like, "Sir, can you sign my recommendation letter?" And I just like think about that scene from time to time.
It's all about
Yeah.
their work.
Yeah, it's like they volunteered, he said, and then they managed to do it, and then I should be fine.
We have other questions?
First of all, okay, in my respect artist, as you know, and since you got the skill to express yourself, so I'm wondering what's the most thing you want the world to know, to learn, or on your mind to do with human beings, family, and world peace.
What is it you want to say with your work?
Like how to help the society to be a better world, peace and family.
For my work personally, what I do in my work is that I make installations that's combined with writing that sort of provides an alternative space to think otherwise, to think of like different storylines that not extremely fixated by I think the narratives that's already ingrained in this world. I dare not say that my work can really generate any substantial change and progress to the world all at once, but I do hope this at least an exercise in imagination, and I think more broadly from potentially from
So for me, I think it's the main thing for OMB something because I need to like put myself into the world. So I need to help the world. So I have some like project with my friend that like it's kind of like bring awareness about like trash, bring like just have like an event and create like some awareness for people. And I think like it's it's interesting project that I really put myself to help the world because I think for me as a practice, I always like help my clients solve their problems, but not really. And also like I have worked with like Chinatown meeting and I feel like I really help like for fundraising. I really help like the community, the small businesses in Chinatown and I feel like right to work with them and to help not just only like one's problem but also like the community.
Point practice. So one of the core values by practice is centered on the cultural sustainability. The practice in traditional itself is like one of the key things from which the core practice like it is a quick dying fiction. And it's go back to regions, and then it still exists in Asia, Latin America, community. What I'm trying to do through this is that practicing the traditional technique in the back into cultural communities, and also sharing people and like sharing the knowledge and the history. Because some people even don't know how people started reading, how children started learning, how people learn. So I think what my practice is to having is that improving and preserving that tradition that people. It was a preserve the traditions?
I think for me, definitely a lot of human connections, people and thinking about the world, but it's just remember the quote from Daniel Yueh-Yeh who said, "I'm not confused, but I'm unconvinced." I think that's my general attitude towards the world. I'm unconvinced by why this world is functioning this way. Therefore, possible way this world will function in it, and potentially to change it. I think that's an attitude I'm trying to embrace and also communicate to a lot of people who are here. Start questioning the status quo, start questioning why things has to be this way, and then maybe start to make a change.
Yeah, I think my work, a lot of my work now is working on questioning and examine the absurdity of our reality because we are so bonded and divided by political forces around like capitalism, and so my work is I also think about the Michael Jackson things, yeah, my work is always trying to question and take more on a like when you all are being creative, do you have like a favorite artist or genre music you like that since when you're creating? Michael Jackson is definitely that genre, pop music, electronic. Yeah, and music from underground. Also, I love the photographer like Julian Lurie. Phillips, of course, yeah.
Favorite artist, right?
Yes.
Friends, but like, I feel like when I moved here, I wasn't more tired, so I was very like sad songs, like wise. It's not even exciting kind of music. But at the same time, when I try to wake up to work, so it's gonna be like dress, like I don't know, okay, you need to learn school. In my that's you know part as a musician in my
When I'm weaving, I like to listen to instruments now, and my favorite is trumpet. Baby, like active in
I don't really listen to music when I work. I listen to but recent favorites are Nicholas Jar and Monet.
One last one. One last.
Yeah, I really want to question and yeah, thank you all for sharing. I felt like the process of finding that being an artist is a very vulnerable experience. And then like the first question about do you feel like during the process, how do you feel yourself, your relationships with art? And I felt like throughout the conversation I kind of learned from your experience, but at the same time, I'm kind of curious about there is this relationship with identity as well. A relationship with the art
with yourself in a relationship with identity. And I'm kind of curious about how do you see the term of Asian American or Asian American, and where are you at in relation to this?
Wow, very complicated question.
I don't really know how to answer this, but I almost have this issue that I was born and raised in China. I'm not Chinese American. I'm Chinese in America. So I think it's a very different dynamic in conversation. And then I know maybe a lot of people have seen TV, like this is I can emphasize with it, but it's not my experience growing up. I don't know how it plays into the answer, but it's a bit different. A bit also navigating this culture.
For myself, I think I also have some a lot of reflection between my identity as a person who was born and raised in Japan, studied in the US, and then also currently pursuing my practice. And then I think currently I started defining my identity as artist in fiber art, Japanese fiber artist in movement with craft. And I feel like there's not much fiber artists well known. There's a lot of fiber artists, fiber Japanese artists who did a lot of great job during the 60s and 70s when fiber art was new back to art. And then I would also love to represent and carry their legacy. Yeah, great. Thank you. I can't tell my identity. And I think I feel like I'm not like changing when I was here compared to was back in Thailand and here. And I already found my identity, and I feel like I'm more confident in here, like to push myself or like to be really be myself, because like back in Thailand I cannot like show my eyes or show my words and like present myself that well. And I think I found in here, I think my identity is stronger, and people can see my work from the street, like, and appreciate it. And I think that's the way to think my identity stronger here.
I actually have some the subcategories or like sub identities within the larger diaspora discourse. But then I think like something that I always feel like it's slightly funny to me is that the O1 visa itself sort of defines a certain identity for us. It is a non-immigrant temporary visa, which puts, at least for me, it puts me in the position of a foreigner in this country, which like I like trying to learn to situate myself in this identity as a foreigner, which I guess like it's kind of an interesting conceptual exercise in a way. It breeds certain things from I guess like the larger discussion of identity and identity politics, but also put myself in a more I guess like and then increasingly destabilized and like even precarious position in this country. But these are some thoughts.
For me, my legal term is legal alien. Yeah, for me, it's just I think my way of dealing with this identity is just great to show the nuances. how they come through editors.
That concludes our conversation. People sharing the personal feelings. So, invite you to our lobby. We are featuring songs with Disparity and voice for DJ. You also regard came from Taiwan from 2019. We actually were led by the words in Taiwan. When humanity work with privileged things. You are going to be treated very well. So let's please enjoy